start the important part, as we have left out the important part, that is dropping a foreign key. Since let me clear to all once again this important point. A foreign key is a key attribute which takes a reference or which keeps the values from the reference from the other key as well, and that it will be referenced by the another primary key. So it can have the multiple value. Now here, removing the foreign key is a or dropping the foreign key is little bit different from the dropping a primary key. Adding a foreign key, we have seen how to add the foreign key. It was very simple concept. We have seen without any doubt. So here, let us see how to drop a foreign key with the proper way, and why the other things are required. So here I'm just going to start my database name. As we know, the database name was VID. So we use the same things, that is use database, that is the VID. So right now I'm using this database, so there is no error over here. So we are going to the right direction right now. Before removing the foreign key, it is better idea to create something new for understanding purpose. So I'm just creating the other table as well over as well as the other table as well to define the foreign key. And here we have the some other things which will define the important part of the foreign key. So first I'm going to start a first table, that is the created table. I'm giving the table name, that is the person. Okay, and I'm just making or creating the its attribute name. So first I'm taking the ID, that is integer. Next I'm taking the LM. LM means the last name or first name, whatever you want to take, you can take. So I'm taking the varchar. Okay, varchar, and its I'm just giving only 30 characters. That is sufficient. First name I can take that could be varchar. Okay, it will also be I'm taking for the 30 characters only. And is of course I'm taking from the integer, so without any problem, there is no issue. Yes, in this table, the primary key, as we know, the ID should be the primary key. So I'm making the primary key of this attribute, that is ID, as the primary key. So what I can do, I can make this primary key like this one, and I'm now closing. Now tell me, any doubt in this syntax? How to create a primary key in a table? We have also seen, but I'm just doing as a revised purpose for the little bit purpose. Just tell me, any doubt here?
No, sir.
Okay, so if I'm executing this, okay, good. So if I'm executing this syntax or this command, then we found that without any problem, perfectly, the table is created. So what is the structure of such table? We can see how we can see. So let me make all this part as a today I will tell you one important command by which you can learn more. Describe the table structure. So I'm just writing over here, then you can see what is sense of this one. It will describe the entire schema of the table of the relation. That is, what is the field name, what is the type of the field or attribute, is it possible to have null value or not, okay, and it is having primary key or not. So all the things are clearly mentioned over here. Instead of a describe person command, you can also take the another command. This is again another command which shows that is okay. Just let me close this one just now. So, command is very simple. You can see command is show create table, show create table, and what is the table name, that is. So what does it print? Yes. Anyone who can have any idea about the show create table person syntax? No idea? So I'm just executing this command over here. Now let me know the answer. Yes. So this command describe the details how you have created your table. Okay. So you can see first table at you. There we have the person. Create table syntax we are having. So after putting or after just you can see that my mouse pointer is coming on the this point, that is mouse over. So you can see the create table person ID integer, that is not entire details of the internally and logical representation of the such table is showing over here. You can see over here. Now that is internally interpreted by the MySQL. So it is visible to all. If I am just moving my mouse over the particular point, then you can see. Is it visible to all? No. See,
Yes, sir.
it is visible to all right
Yes,
now.
sir.
From this point, you will see the most of the important part for learning purpose. That's why I am using right now this command. So you can see the primary key what we have, that is ID. Okay. So I'm just this point right now. Let me close this one. Right now I am creating the another table, and that is contained by the foreign key, and which take the reference from the person's ID as a foreign key. So I'm creating another create table name. What is table name? I'm just making the order. Okay, so this is the orders is better. Because order is a keyword which is used by the order by. Order by, when you use the order by clause, then order itself is a keyword. So we are not using the order table name. We can use the orders table name, it is better. Now here I am taking the order ID. So ORD ID. So order ID is what? Order ID is the first attribute of the order table, and I'm taking as an integer. And next one I am taking the order number. So order number you want to, then you can take the or ORD number. So it could be integer, and order name we can also take, and so order name, or in order name what we can say, we can put the detail of the customer is just making the request for the order purpose, so what he has or she has ordered. So if you want to put the this attribute, then you can put this and like this one. So I'm just making as a 30. Okay, you can take any 40, 45 to 50, so you can use the 100. Okay, so I'm updating now. Next, what would be the primary key over here? As we know, the primary key would be the order ID, ORD ID. Okay. Now, this is the syntax. There is no issue. Now, if you're looking for the foreign key, then if you're looking the foreign key, then you can make the foreign key in simple way. How to get the foreign key? Foreign key we are making. Which attribute should be the foreign key? Just please tell me. Which attribute should be the foreign key? Which attribute should be the foreign key? Just please tell me.
Order ID.
Okay, order ID is already is the primary key. So how you can make it just as a foreign key?
Order name, sir.
Yeah, we can take the order number, but you can remember the important point in the person table. We have the person ID, so that should be
Yeah, sir.
meaningful. So I think we should add another point, that is the PID. PID is what is the person ID? Okay, so this attribute will be the our foreign key. So now foreign key, we are making the PID as a foreign key, and which will be the reference from the person table, and what is the attribute of the such table, that is the ID. So this would be the very simple syntax by which you can make without any problem. Now you can see there is no red cross symbol which is showing that there is error. Now there is no red cross symbol we have, it means there is no error in this query. But you are making the query, or you are executing this query, so your foreign key will be created. But when the time of the removing the foreign key in the normal way, you can't remove. Why? Because a foreign key can have or can take the reference from the multiple table as well. That's why it is naming showing over here. That's the MUL. You can see into the schema. So you can see the important point here. We will add a constraint for the foreign key, and each and everything will be managed by the its constraint only. In the app, we can add the constraint to the primary key as well, but that is not much usable. But in the foreign key, it is much usable. Like I'm taking the simple concept here, you can understand the course table we have, a course relation we have, faculty relation we have, student relation we have. Student ID also associate with the course as well as the faculty, and faculty ID is also associated with the faculty and course. So it means a course ID is a primary key, but course ID is a foreign key from the into the faculty relation and student relation. So a table which has a primary key or attribute can be referenced to the other table or relation as a foreign key. So a foreign key can have a value or table in a table we have an attribute. It can be referenced by the multiple way. So that's why we are trying to remove. So it determined that internally you're trying to remove such foreign key, then it is not possible because it can have the reference from the other key. So logically or also syntactically, it is not a good thing. So how you can remove? You can remove the constant in foreign key. So foreign key will be as it is, but we will remove its constant. Constant means a validation on which we have put it over there. So before creating the foreign key, it is better idea to add constant. So we are not adding the constant or we are not altering the table. Okay. Suppose we have forgot the add the constant, then or insert the constant for the foreign key. Then what happen? We will add constant after updating the alter table, after using the alter table and table name and add constant on the foreign key. But it is better idea to use right now to prevent the such thing if we are getting anything from the other thing. Since let me clear to all once again, the syntax in the MySQL and Oracle and MySQL are a little bit different from each other. But right now we are using the MySQL, so we need to keep in mind all the syntax properly. So here I'm just putting the constraint constant constant, and I'm putting the ID, that is FKFU means foreign ID, and I'm just giving the name of this one like this. You can take any. This is a constant name. Constant itself is the keyboard, and constant FK order is constant ID. Now, now there is no reference right now. Yes, please tell me any doubt over here. Okay, the comma will not become after this one. And it shows that this constant will be the part of the foreign key and check the reference from the percentage. Any doubt in this table? Why we are adding a constant? Because this constant will check the validation and will define that we are taking the reference from the other table as well. Yes, please. Any doubt? Now should I execute this query? Yes, please tell me. Should I execute or any doubt you have?
रेफरेंस पर्सन फॉरेन की के आगे क्यों लिखा है ये?
Since we are adding the constant, that is a part of the foreign key, and PID is a local or local attribute of the order table. Okay, so we are making the PID. This is as. And now you have remembered the important point. Just let me scroll up. In ID is only the attribute which is a part of the person. So from which table you are taking the reference. Okay, so from which table you are taking the reference, so you have to define the table name and which attribute, so that should be the ID, and that is a part. So we are taking this one, so we need to put the reference, and you are not putting the reference, then you will get the syntactic error because you are making the foreign key, but from which table of which relation you will take the references, so you have to define. So that's why we are taking over here. And this part we already seen into the previous class as well. Previous means the class. Now, shall we execute?
Yes, sir.
Okay. After executing at this point, there's no error right now. There's no error. So I'm just making all these point as a comment. Now, what is my simple command? Show create table. If you want to use the description, then you can use without any problem. So let me explain once again to this part and order. Order. So now see. So everything we have over here. Now PID is a foreign key. Now you can see over here that is a MUL. M is a multiple. It can have the multiple reference from the other keys, and it can also have the multiple values. Now after moving this part, so create table. And what tables we have? Orders. Orders. And after executing this part, and it is found that you can see the important point, which is the important part for the class to understand the foreign key. We are creating table orders and order ID, which is integer, and if you are not passing the size, it will take the size default 11. And now each and everything we have over here, primary key is order ID and foreign key. So key is we are using the key that is a FK order. So FK order what the our constraint. So we are putting over here. So it will take automatically. Now internally it's interpreted as we have the constant on the PID, or will the reference from constant from the PID, and PID is the local attribute of the order. ID is what? ID is the reference attribute from the person class. So you can see each and everything over here. Is it visible to all? Yes. Is it visible to all? Constant, you can see now, you can see that the last, if I'm putting the mouse over, so that is, you can see the constant F order foreign key. Yes, it is clear to all? Yes, please let me know. Is it clear to all? So we have created the foreign key so far. Yes, please tell me. Any doubt here? Yes, please tell me. Do you have any doubt? Then you can ask me. Yes, please tell me.
No doubt.
Okay. So please remember all these syntaxes. Just you have to use the register notebook or copy whatever you want to use for record. Just note down all these syntaxes. Okay. So what is the next task? The next task is to drop a foreign key. Okay, foreign key. So this is a syntax which is an important part of our class today, and how to remove such points. So let me explain to all. If you want to drop a foreign key, then syntax will be very simple. I'll draw a table name. What is the table name which contains the foreign key? That is the orders. Okay. And in this table, what you want to remove a foreign key. Okay. Foreign key. You can use, and what is the attribute there? That is, you can use the PID. But this PID is an attribute which will can take, or which will take, or which can take the reference from the other relation as well. So that's why we will not remove such attribute. Okay, and we will not remove its constant like the foreign key. So what we will do the amendment? We will drop the its constraint. So drop foreign key. In this drop foreign key, we will pass the constraint. And what is the constraint? That is, we have taken over here the order. Okay, order. Yes. Now tell me, this syntax is clear to all. We will not remove the foreign key. We will pass the constant. And what is the constant name? That is FT order. You can take A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z, kuch bhi. Whatever you want to use, then you can use anything. There is no issue. And this is like a variable. Yes, tell me. This syntax is clear to all?
Sir, means we are replacing foreign key with epic order, huh?
We are not replacing. Since I'm very truly speaking, I'm speaking in simple example. In a student relation, faculty is a relation, course is a relation. This course ID, student ID, and faculty ID itself is a primary key. There is no issue. But in the faculty relation, the faculty can take the multiple relations. So the course ID can be can be used. Okay, and faculty relation can take the reference from the course ID, and the course ID at the time becomes a foreign key inside the faculty. And same thing it will be happening to the student as well. If you're removing the foreign key, okay, so then such it can have the reference from the other table as well. So we will not remove the foreign key as by putting the attribute name. Okay, so what we need to put to? we need to put the constraint what we have applied over the foreign key. So here we will remove the or drop the foreign key constant instead of the foreign key attribute as we have seen to the primary key. And if you try to do drop foreign key attribute name, so definitely you will get an like we have seen into the previous practical session. So this is the problem. So that's why I'm writing here. The we will remove the we will what we will drop we will drop the constant. Why? Because this we will drop the constant only. This foreign this key or this PID as an attribute under the order. It can it may have the reference from the other as well. So that's why we just remove the constant instead of the foreign key attribute. So it is already defined. So there is no problem. So that's why it is written over here the MUL. MUL means it can have the multiple value or duplicate value. There is no issue, and it can also take the reference from the multiple table as well. So that's why the concept is known as the taking the reference from the multiple. So it can have or it may have. So when we have the word may or can have, so if you try to remove, so you will get it. Same thing over here. So MySQL is providing error like over here. This is the problem. So what we will do, we will remove the drop the constant. We will drop the constant only. Okay, so this is the point we are taking. Now, this point is clear to you right now?
Sir, means we are dropping foreign key or F key order or both? I'm confusing, sir, here.
No, foreign key will be as it is. It may have the reference from the other as well. So we will remove its constant only. What the constant we can apply? It is just like a simple things. You have already awarded you the Cat 1, Cat 2 exam marks, and but unfortunately you are failed in such examination. So your marks which is already awarded by that will not be removed. You keep the reference purpose for the future purpose. But you are facing the another example for passing the same course. So we will keep the both things. But we will just remove the such constraint and we will not count such constraint for the passing purpose. We will consider your another constraint and that we will apply. So whenever you want to put the you want to make the foreign key or taking the reference from the other table, then you have to add the constant. So here we will not remove the foreign key. We will remove the constant. You remove the foreign.
Understood.
Okay, so I'm just executing this syntax that there is no error. Okay, so if there is no error, so what we need to see, just let me explain or let me show you the practical way that you can understand. I'm executing this syntax right now once again to show you the actual thing, what we have seen to the previous part. If I'm executing this part, now you can see here the constant is removed. If you remember, the constant was there, but here the constant is removed. There's no key, there's no point is written over here, the constant, if you remember the point. Before removing the constant, there was a statement, there is a constant after the key. Okay, after the key, F key order PID, there is another statement was written that is a constraint on which we what we have used. That is a foreign key constant we have used. And now after remove the foreign key concept, this syntax, we have removed the constant from the foreign key. And this attribute now becomes as a normal attribute. But it can take the reference from the other as well, so its status will be as if that is MU. But now it will not take the reference from the other table that is a person. We have removed the its constant. So if you remember the such thing, do you remember the point? Constant. That's why I showing the thing with the help of the show create table order syntax. Show create table syntax. Do you remember the such point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's why I'm showing to all. Now we have removed the constant. Now this table right now, the orders will not act as a foreign key. But if you want to, this should be act as a foreign key. Then it must have the constant. And what is the simple syntax? Alt of table name, and constant, and same thing we have over here. So this is the point. So this is the point how to remove the foreign key. Now this syntax is clear to all. And time to time, I will tell you more and more syntax. But let us understand very beginning thing, beginning command, where we can apply or where we can use, and where we can use. while creating and developing the projects. That's why I'm showing the simple command to learn the basic thing and necessary part. Yes, please tell me. Now, this syntax is clear to all? And please remember the syntax once again, show create table and table name. So it describes the internal structure of the table, and external structure of the table we can see through the what is the attribute name, what is the type, and so on. So we can see. But internally, how it is to be interpreted by the MySQL internally, and this is the syntax that is show create table. Okay, and table. Yes. Is it clear to all right now? Tell me, is it clear to all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, after this syntax, I have the simple command, and by which I will tell you the join operation. That is, we have seen the join operation. Join is divided into two different categories. One is a inner join and outer join. Okay. So in the inner join, we have the equijoin and eta join as well. But if you're talking about the outer join, so what we have? We have the left outer join, right outer join, and full outer join. Okay, so we will see what is the use of the implementation, the inner join, outer join, and left or right outer join respectively. So next syntax will going for the outer join or inner join. So shall we move to the next syntax?
Yes, sir.